Good evening. You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Sultanate expresses hope that consensus on the Libyan constitution draft is a start for a new, prosperous era in Libya. Board of Directors of Public Authority for Radio and Television directs to put perception to establish a television channel specially for children. And Telecommunications Regulatory Authority reveals before the Municipal Council of the Governorate of Muscat that complaints against telecommunication companies exceeded 230 related to price and service disruption. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. The Sultanate expressed its hope that the Libyan constitution draft, which was agreed upon yesterday evening in the city of Salalah, will be a start for a new, prosperous era in Libya. The founding authority for drafting a new constitution for Libya announced that it reached a consensus formula for the new constitution at the end of consultation meetings, which lasted 3 weeks under the patronage of the United Nations and hosted by the Sultanate. It was an endeavor by the Sultanate to bring closer together points of view among Libyan entities regarding points of difference. All Libyan bodies which attended the dialogue confirmed that they were able, under the available circumstances, to maximize the interest of Libya over any other narrow interest without any interference from any pressure. Dr. Mohammed Al-Ghannam, constitutional advisor to the United Nations Mission for Support in Libya, stressed the success of Salalah meeting and expressed thanks of the United Nations to the Sultanate's leadership, government and people for its stance that support the UN and aim for peace and harmony to prevail in all spots of conflicts. Approval of financial regulation list of the Public Authority for Radio and Television and putting perception for a study to establish a television channel especially for children topped the results of the first meeting of the Board of Directors of the Public Authority for Radio and Television of the year. During the meeting, the board praised achievements realized by the authority during the recent period, topped by opening of the Digital Studios Complex, launch of the identity of the authority and its radio and television channels, and the launch of Oman Cultural Channel, as well as the winning of a number of local, regional and international prizes achieved by programs of the radio and television. The meeting also viewed ways to develop performance of the Sultanate of Oman radio and television channels. A proposed study for commercial advertisements list submitted by administration of the authority and directed to complete the rest of the procedures necessary for its approval. The meeting was presided over by His Excellency Dr. Abdullah bin Nasser Al-Harrasi, Chairman of the Public Authority for Radio and Television. Telecommunications Regulatory Authority revealed before the Municipal Council of the Governorate of Muscat that complaints against telecommunication companies exceeded 230 last year, related to prices and service disruption and other issues. This came during the Council's meeting held today. The meeting also discussed illegal agricultural land possession in the Governorate of Muscat and ways to take measures against this issue. The Council also reviewed a proposal to establish a multi-story parkings. 70 Omani youth, the Ministry of Manpower and Petroleum Development Oman (PDO) celebrated their graduation after they completed 15 months of training in the profession of assistant drillers of oil fields. His Excellency Engineer Salim bin Nasser Al-Oufi, Under Secretary of the Ministry of Oil and Gas, said during previous years more than 2,000 vacancies were filled by Omani youth after they underwent qualifying programs in oil and gas sector, and efforts are going on to train and qualify greater numbers in technical and supervision jobs. The graduates were diploma holders in electricity, mechanical, and oil and gas majors. Then they joined concentrated, internationally approved courses in methods of drilling oil and gas wells. They will join works for projects belonging to PDO after they completed the training combined with employment.
today's graduation ceremony is just what we call ICV in action. Just the vision, the ambition to make sure that we create opportunities for Omanis across the entire industry sector, in this case, well engineering. You saw 71 very, very proud new graduates that are coming in as assistant drillers. And they'll move on to drilling, and they'll move on to senior tool pushers, and a number of them will move on to CEOs. So the future opportunity being created today. This is just one example, simply one example of a number of efforts that we have in terms of upskilling the Omani talent to help the oil and gas industry sector, but also to move on and replicate the same examples across other sectors. There's enormous opportunity. It's challenging times, but today's example is what we can do so much more and so much better in so many other sectors.
Still to come in our news bulletin. The Mazoon International Festival for Child Theatre concluded in the Governorate of Muscat. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. Nizwa College of Applied Sciences organized Charisma competition, which aimed to reveal students' talent and encourage them to practice it with confidence in their life. More details in the following report by Sultan bin Saif As-Sarai.
To highlight the importance of the charismatic personality in the daily life, Nizwa College of Applied Sciences organized the third edition of Charisma competition, which aimed to discover students' talents in interactive communication and the innovation of idea delivery.
This competition is vital in order to inspire our students to exhibit their talents in all fields related to charisma competition, and this will enable them to be public figures in the future. We wish them all the best.
The final stage of the competition focused on the candidates' performance by delivering a presentation at the front of audience in order to evaluate the candidate inspiration, creativity and persuasion.
The criteria was depending on 5 important criteria. The first criteria was the performance of the student, and the second one was the well organized for its own performance, of course, and then it's moved to the questions. How can he answer the questions, and also the time, and at last, of course, how can he really manage his energetic power during this competition.
The competition has been organized on 3 levels. In the first level, 38 male and female students went through an intellectual test. The second level was an interview with the judging committee. At the end, 8 students only were qualified to the final level, which is the live performance.
Well, there were 3 stages. The first stage there was IQ test, from which 38 students has qualified to the second stage, which was interviewed by the judging committee. And the final stage was today. The students has to present on the theater in front of the audience about a given theme, which is, if today is the last day of your life, what are you gonna do? And of course, one winner won the competition.
I'm very happy in participating in this competition. It is one of a wonderful experience in my life. It will add a lot of value in my personality.
There is no doubt that the charisma is a vital aspect in people's daily life, which has been demonstrated through this competition, and it plays a major role at developing individuals' communication skills, maintaining relationships and leaderships.
Medical Simulation Center of Oman Medical Specialty Board organized its annual training program in the field of management and medical support during crises and disasters. The program puts the Sultanate in the 2nd place at Gulf level in this field, accrediting the Sultanate as a regional center for organizing such training programs. Trainees from different medical categories from various governorates of the Sultanate took part in the event. The program aimed to train Omani cadres to respond actively during the occurrence of big accidents. Finance for compensating and assisting equipment project was launched at Omani Women's Association premises in Qurum. It was provided by Oman LNG as a finance for the Omani Association to the disabled within its continuous initiatives for the society. The initiative included offering a number of equipment for the disabled, such as providing wheelchairs of different specifications compatible with needs of the disabled, hearing aids, air pillows, and medical mattresses, in addition to other necessary systems. The launch was presided over by His Excellency Sheikh Khalid bin Umar Al Marhoun, Minister of Civil Service. Theatrical performances of the Mazoon International Festival for Child Theatre concluded at the Higher Technology College in Al Khuwair in the Governorate of Muscat. It witnessed a wide interaction from those concerned in theatre as well as members of the community. It came under the theme Belonging and Citizenship. During the days of the festival, the local, Arab and international theatre teams presented various artistic shows and performances that highlight the good values of citizenship, love, and peace. The Rostaq Theatre Team won the Best Performance Award for one of its plays presented in the festival. The fourth meeting of the Municipal Council in the Governorate of Dhofar discussed a number of topics. It started with some social issues related to the expenses of some occasions such as weddings and mourning ceremonies. It further focused on road projects in the Governorate and asphalting some roads in the Wilaya of Dalqut. The meeting also discussed environmental aspects related to enhancing veteran and agriculture services, in addition to providing technical support for farmers. After the members of the council review these topics, they are forwarded as recommendations to the bodies concerned. The Private Schools Forum started in the Wilaya of Dunk in the Governorate of Dhahra. It came to encourage the businessmen as well as small and medium-sized enterprises to invest in the private education field. It witnessed a number of lectures and dialogue sessions, in addition to discussions on some work papers. It was also considered important to highlight the talents and innovations of the schools in the governorate. Such forums contribute in finding a link between the private schools and members of the society through introducing the activities and students' works. Under the theme Ask Before You Sail, Royal Oman Police held a ceremony in the Governorate of Musandam to celebrate Gulf Coast Guard and Border Guard Week. The week in its fourth edition included a number of awareness programs for various society segments. Royal Oman Police gave awareness lectures in a number of schools in the Sultanate. This week came to emphasize on the importance of marine safety for seagoers and to spread the culture of safe sailing. It also came to highlight the importance of activating precautionary and preventive procedures before sailing. Through its sea patrols, the Coast Guard distributed booklets to strengthen safety and security for seagoers. It is worth mentioning that the Coast Guard exert much effort to protect offshore vital establishments and to combat smuggling and infiltration processes. Now for the general weather forecast. Clear to partly cloudy skies will prevail over the coastal areas of the Governorate of Dhofar, Wusta and South Sharqiya, with chances of scattered rains during the evening. On the Hajar Mountains and its nearby areas, there are chances of cloud accumulation and scattered rainfall. The rest of the governorates will have clear skies. Winds will be southeasterly to easterly light to moderate over coastal areas of the Sea of Oman and the Arabian Sea. On the rest of the governorates, it will be northwesterly light to moderate. Seas will be moderate along the western coast of Musandam and the Arabian Sea with a maximum wave height of 2 meters. Along the coast of the Sea of Oman, it will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1.25 meters. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Sultanate expresses hope that consensus on the Libyan constitution draft is a start for a new prosperous era in Libya. Board of Directors of Public Authority for Radio and Television directs to put perception to establish a television channel especially for children. And Telecommunications Regulatory Authority reveals before the Municipal Council of the Governorate of Muscat that complaints against telecommunication companies exceeded 230 related to prices and service disruption. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.